Drinking a Guinness.
You're having a milkshake?
You want me to split the G?
I don't know how you drink those.
I was just
It's not a milkshake. All right. So here's on the back of it. For 12 fluid ounces, how many calories?
140.
120.
125. So not crazy bad.
How many? What do I win?
Nothing.
How about 100
Watch me
Guinness?
take a sip and enjoy it.
100 Guinnesses.
Oh.
I was just getting dinner with Megan, and we went to this restaurant, and we went specifically because she was really excited to get the French onion soup. Big French onion soup girl.
Really?
Yeah. And why is it so surprising? Why is
What
it so
It's just so
surprising?
boring for dinner. I guess that's like a girl thing now.
It was It was going to be like an appetizer.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like the main meal.
No,
Like a
so
big bowl of soup.
but we went there and like she's like, oh, I'm gonna get the French onion soup to the waiter, and the waiter's like, sorry, we're all at a Guinness, we can't make that right now. Why the fuck do they need Guinness for French onion soup?
I don't know. It's probably I hate when any recipe has beer in it. I'm over it.
Yeah, or just like you can't use any other beer.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's making or
Well,
breaking.
I would say Guinness is very distinct compared to other beers.
I don't think it's gonna make or break the French onion soup though.
I'm afraid to tell Dennis I put Guinness in my corned beef. I don't want to get it.
What does it do? What do you think it does?
That's the recipe I looked up online, and it turned out really good.
I have a theory that I think these people write these recipes and they include a beer because they're like trying to be cool and hip, but it doesn't add much.
Owen is not here today. We have George subbing in. George, say hello.
Hello.
And Owen is known for sending like vague, cryptic topics to our group chat before the pod. So we have absolutely no idea what he's talking about. And I just write them down and then try to incorporate them into the conversation. So he sent us his list of topics while he's in Hawaii, and we're going to try to guess what the hell he wanted to say with these topics. This first one I think is pretty easy. Owen's topic number 1. People who don't rub sunscreen in. That's an obvious one, right?
I'm trying to. I don't know. I thought about this. Does he hate it or does he like it?
Oh, right. Like maybe he thinks it's cool when people do like the little bit of like zinc on their nose, and he's like, "That's like such a sick fashion statement." Like the zinc on your nose. That is true with Owen. You don't know.
Yeah.
You know he hates it.
I don't
He
know because
absolutely hates it.
No, I could see him being like, dude, everybody, like all the cool kids are doing the zinc on the nose now.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really good for like skin health. Who knows? Like maybe I could see that being, but I think the obvious one is that he just hates when people use the thick sunscreen and don't rub it in all the way.
I'm a user.
What do you mean?
I use the thick stuff. I always make the reference that I use the stuff that Zuckerberg uses.
Oh yeah.
but it always falls flat. Like everyone's like, Zuckerberg. I'm like, no. I felt like it was
Really?
like the most famous picture of like 2017 or whatever year it was.
Yeah,
But
he's on like the surfboard.
You
right?
got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
with the shirt on and
Yeah. That guy's
Yeah.
a freak.
Well, the problem with rubbing sunscreen is it all comes down to what kind of sunscreen you buy. Sometimes like you buy this thick stuff that is just impossible to rub in.
Oh, yeah.
I ran that, Dennis, when I ran that Cleveland half marathon, I didn't realize I was using the thick stuff, and I put it on before the race, and I go to my race photos, and you can just tell I'm like caked in sunscreen for the whole 13 miles.
Yeah, the kid stuff is like that. It's like zinc based
and mineral and zinc based.
It does not rub in. So you get to a point where you're like, I'm not doing much. And kids, especially, I'm like, I don't really give a shit what you look like. Just gonna put it on you. And they're like moving all around. You're like, I'm not gonna spend fucking 10 minutes rubbing sun lotion in on you, son. So you just do it quick and then let them run around.
Where do you stand on the spray stuff? You can't use that with kids, right?
It doesn't work well. No.
Yeah, that's good for like me, like a quick hit to my head. But anywhere else, it just isn't.
I feel like my body is just too large for all that. It's just like not.
It does. You usually take a whole can to cover. Yeah.
Like I feel Lisa doing it in my back and it's like a W. And I'm like, this is. We gotta rub this in too.
It specifically says not to rub it in though.
Yeah. So how is that covering your body?
Sounds like a scam. Okay. All right. Owen's next topic. He just said pool guy. George, what do you think he means by that? He just said
Did
the
you
two
say
words.
pool guy with an L?
Yeah, just pool guy.
I'm thinking a hot guy next to the pool skimming it.
Skimming it.
Yeah, he's got that big long like
pool skimmer.
Oh yeah, the big rod thing.
You thought skimming it was like some cool term that he's doing,
I don't know what.
like
I thought
rolling a
skimming it?
cigarette or something.
I don't. Yeah, I thought. I went a little dirtier in my head, just skimming
I thought
it
it was
over
pretty dirty
there.
myself.
Yeah, no, he's just skimming it in the corner. Okay, so that's
What did he
one.
say? Pool guy?
Yeah, pool
Maybe
guy.
it's guy that likes just to be in the pool.
Oh, right, like a guy who's just like in there for 9 hours straight,
Yeah.
all pruny and wrinkled. Okay, that's one way to go at it. Yeah, my interpretation is there is a pool guy wherever he's staying, and I guess the guy maybe talks a little bit too much, or like is just a little bit too chatty, or just in some way distracting, which ties into what George was saying. Like he's either very handsome,
He sounds
distra-
hot.
yeah, but he could
I've s-
also be in. He could like pool guys aren't what they are on TV. I've seen pool guys.
Yeah.
There.
My parents have pool guys in Florida when they're like out of town that come and take care of the pool. The one guy was so old that he died and they had to find a new guy. So that's how most pool guys are. I think they're just like old retired guys that just go house to house. And so, yeah.
Right. I don't know where he's coming with that one.
I agree with you, Kevin. I think it's some weird pool guy taking his craft a little too seriously and is not hot. And Owen's not going to want to look at a non-hot guy, I guess. So.
So the consensus is that he hates the pool guy, whoever it is.
Yeah,
Well, these are all hate.
There's no way he likes the pool guy. Okay, the last topic. Saying native greetings or thank you. I have no clue.
Oh, because he's in Hawaii and they say aloha for hello and goodbye. So
what about thank you?
Mahalo.
Okay, so his topic is saying native greetings or thank you.
I think it's like, what should you do when you're in Hawaii?
Okay, sorry. So I'm reading this wrong. It's saying native greetings or thank you. I was reading it as saying native greetings or thank you. Like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I read it
I think
wrong.
it's like you're in Hawaii. You're not from there. And do you say, someone hands you something, do you say mahalo? I think that's Hawaiian for thank you.
I think
or do you say thank you?
I think a lot of the issues with Owen and his topics comes down to writing. He just doesn't phrase things in a way that are clear. Because like I would have phrased this like, should I say my greetings or thank yous in the native tongue? But instead, I read it as saying native greetings or thank you. Like it seems like native.
Well, it's a topic header, and he was going to explain.
Yeah,
more.
and I think he likes to keep them vague. And
yeah,
keep us on our toes. Okay.
But so on that point, you're in Hawaii. Are you saying, is it mahalo? Thank you. I could be completely wrong on that.
When I'm like dealing with like a Mexican or Hispanic,
or like gracias, yeah.
When I'm dealing with the Mexican or Hispanic person, I want to try to like interact in their native language as much as I can, but I don't have the confidence that I'm going to get it right. Like I still am not confident what the hi and bye are. If I had it, hi is hola. Like I'm like not like.
Do you do that also every time they say something? You just repeat it back like, hola?
That's what I'm saying.
That's not English.
I would never feel confident enough in my own knowledge to try it. I'd rather just be ignorant.
I remember when I was in Italy, and it took me like, I was there for like 2 weeks. So, Europe and then Italy. But it took me like a whole week before I said anything in Italian. And I remember I said it, and the person spoke Italian back to me, and I only said one word. And I'm like, oh, wow, that feels good. And I tried it again, and it never worked ever again. So felt cool.
Living in Southern California, when I went to a Mexican restaurant, it was buenos dias, carne asada fries, gracias.
Carne asadas fries. That sounds good.
Carne asada fries.
That sounds
like French
good.
fries?
Steak fries. Never had carne asada fries?
No. Like steak frites?
Dude, no hablo.
All right, let's get on with this. So Owen will return hopefully next week or sometime to explain what these topics are in more depth. But this does bring me to one of my topics for the day, which kind of relates to Hawaii a little bit. And it actually doesn't in any way other than unless you're being racist. But I listened to the Lonely Island podcast last night. And you know how they've been doing like that pod where they recap all the digital shorts. So they recapped this one called Ross Trent, which it wasn't a huge like hit, but it was like Andy Samberg dressed as like a college kid who's decided they're now like a Rastafarian, and it's just like him singing this song and with like appropriating all this Rastafari culture, wearing the drug rug.
Is Rihanna in it?
No, but they actually talk about it in the pod how she loved it.
Okay.
And maybe they like brought it back. Like if I showed you a picture, I bet you would remember it. But it's called Ross Trent.
Yeah, I remember something like that with Rihanna.
I feel like maybe they like brought it back or something, but this is the sketch. Like you get the gist of the sketch right there. Like a college
that's
kid.
Shy Ronnie I'm thinking about.
Yeah, the kid takes, the kid in college who is a freshman and all of a sudden decides
He looks like Fred. Sorry.
Fred
My son?
No, Fred, the Disney character.
Oh, I think he just has an expressive face. But the reason you guys don't listen to this podcast, Dennis and George, I think you'd appreciate this as well. It goes so much beyond like a behind the scenes. It was fascinating to me because it was more just about the culture of like Rastafarianism and just like I didn't realize it at the time. I thought it was just like a goofy him making up words. But like every line in this song is stolen directly from like reggae, like a serious reggae or dancehall song, and they kind of go like line by line, just like saying like what the background of each line was. Like, and not only was it hilarious, it felt like a music lesson on like this like Jamaican music that like, and which I'd learned is actually not just like a culture, it's a religion. Like when they say Jah, that means God. And like excuse I don't know, it's really funny, and I think you guys would both love it. Just like it's just like almost more like a music pod. And fascinating.
I'm surprised they would spend that much time on it for a digital short.
Well, what do you
You're
mean?
talking about the song? They've spent every line was from a different song.
Yeah, so they go into this a lot though, how a lot of the digital shorts eventually, or a good handful of them, they already had recorded for like an album, and then they just like went on and decided it would make a good video for a digital short. But I would highly recommend watching the digital short and listening to that podcast, even if you never listened to another Lonely Island podcast. It was just like fascinating to learn about this culture. It made me want to watch that new Bob Marley movie that just came out.
Oh yeah.
It just seems like and George, I could see you like really loving like Rastafarian culture.
Why is that?
It's just all about like it's all about like embracing like nature and relaxation and like I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of my like, but it's just like, yeah, it's not like it's about no confrontation, love, peace, from my understanding.
George, have you ever worn a drug rug?
No, I haven't.
George did get to dress up in traditional African garb for a wedding he went to recently.
I want to hear about George's wedding that he went to. Can we talk about that?
George, can we talk about that?
Sure. What would you like to talk about?
Just the outfit.
Yeah, just straight up the outfit.
So the outfit was cool. I did a WhatsApp FaceTime with a guy in Nigeria, a tailor in Nigeria, and Kim measured me. But basically, it's just like normal pants, and then kind of like if you've ever seen what like Indian men wear, like those kind of like long shirts, they're long sleeve with like
and buttons up the middle, no collar.
Yeah, but only had like 3 buttons. It was like almost like a quarter zip. But then over top of it, like you could put on like what I would only describe as like what a Catholic priest wears, like a big like when you like raise your arm, it looks like he has wings. And then it had this hat, this circular hat, and I guess
the hat's the coolest part.
Yeah, the hat is like a skull cap, but even cooler than a skull cap.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to describe it. But I was upset because it gave me the hat at the wedding, and so I didn't have a chance to put the hat on in front of a mirror, so I wasn't sure how to put it on my head.
Yeah, do you wear it? Turned out. Do you try to cover the back, like your back of your head, or your hairline here?
Right. Yeah.
Who knows? See, you gotta experiment. It's what looks best. Did you?
But it was really cool because like I was a little afraid that like I would be like appropriating culture and like no, like we invited you to this wedding and like we like are just so glad that like you want to do like our traditions and customs, and like so many people came up to me and were like, wow, this looks really nice on you. It was really flattering.
So you were the only guy wearing that there?
That's a big difference.
No, so in Nigerian weddings,
it'd be funny if you just showed up.
Everybody else is just dressed in traditional American wedding wear.
So kinda. No.
George is the only guy that's like took the time.
But
so there's other people wearing this too.
Yeah, so basically it's like they had like what they called a white wedding where like everyone like the groom and the bride wore like traditional what you would expect the groom and bride. And then so the groomsmen and bridesmaids like tuxes and stuff. But then for like the reception, the groomsmen and bridesmaids changed like multiple times, and the groom invited me to be part of what he calls an Chevy, or what they call in their culture an Chevy, where basically it's like all my people are going to wear like this color and all the guys are going to wear like this thing. So he basically invited me to wear the same thing that like all of his boys were wearing, which was really cool. So I wore that. I didn't do any outfit changes.
One more
Kim had to do
question.
like 3 outfit changes.
Did you feel a little, I know you said you were worried at first, but like once you were there and people started to compliment you, did you start to own it a little bit more, or did you feel better about it?
Yeah, no, I felt good about it the whole time. It was just there was just other things I wasn't sure like what my responsibilities were as like in a Chevy. Like they do this thing where they spread money. So like all of his boys were out there like throwing money, and I'm like, how do I what's the appropriate time to throw the money? How much
How
do I
much?
throw?
Right, yeah.
And the one guy was like, I like to think that like the club culture here got this from Nigerian culture. Like I like to think they stole it from us.
To
But it's really like just cool to see.
to compare it to something, George, it's almost like if like the Chicago Bulls were playing and then somebody's just like, "Hey, we're down a Bull tonight. Like, here's a jersey. Go out there and do it." And like you're kind of just expected to be able to play in the NBA. Like you just don't like you're wearing the costume or the outfit, but you,
Yeah, I would say that instead of the NBA, though, like cricket, like
yeah,
something.
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
at least you
I
know
don't
the rules
know.
of basketball. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just like so you like look like a great athlete out there, but like you just have no clue what you're doing. That makes sense. Speaking of different cultures that not different cultures, cultures that are ununique to us. Dennis, you're following a new YouTuber.
Not really following. I watched a documentary about one, but there's a there's a common theme with these YouTubers. So have you guys heard of her name is Ruby Frank? Heard of her?
Not at all.
Okay, so she had a documentary, like not a documentary. There's a documentary out on Hulu right now about her. And like 12 years ago, she started a YouTube channel with her family. She has 8 kids, lives in Salt Lake City. Guess what religion she is?
George, you guess first.
George?
The Church of Latter-day Saints.
No,
Yes.
I was gonna guess Mormon.
And Dennis, I have heard of her. I know who she is. I just now that you
Yeah.
laid it out there.
So this lady basically would film her kids and her family every single day, and this documentary just goes in to show like how much her kids hated it. Eventually she like her one kid is having issues, so they find like a therapist for her, and the mom basically falls in love with this other woman therapist.
Whoa.
And invites her into her house, and she's in the house, and like the mom starts like kicking everyone out, the husband out, kids that are problems, and there's only like 2 kids left in the house out of 8, and she like ties these kids up because they think the devil's in them, and then the kids escape, and now she's in jail for like 30 years.
Wow.
But this is the second documentary I've watched where it's a Mormon YouTube family. I think it's a big thing,
That's interesting.
and they have some fucked up issues.
Well, that's interesting because on Bravo and just reality television in general, Mormons are kind of having a moment. Like that Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is the most popular Housewives franchise right now, and they're all Mormon. There was that show on Hulu that was like the Secret Lives of Mormon Girls that everybody watched that likes that kind of stuff. They did a spin-off like show on Peacock that's like house flippers or like real estate that are Mormons. And I from what I heard that the Mormon church likes it because it brings like exposure to their religion. But the fact that like they would be highlighting documentaries, they probably wouldn't love that though, like true crime documentaries.
Yeah, it's a weird. You can like kind of tell when someone is Mormon from these YouTube things because they all live in these like really nice houses, and they're all like really put together, all blonde white people, and there's just something off about them. Like they're very fake.
Yeah, no, that's no, you're right though. You're right.
That's a horrible description.
You're right. You're right.
So Kevin's dad called me earlier this week,
What?
and he said something along the lines of, sometimes those guys talk about things they know nothing about, and I'm like, they are. And I'm just like, yep, they can be pretty ignorant, but it's all good. I'm like, favorite thing is when Kevin says something ignorant, and he goes, and I stand by it. It reminds me of like, I think you should leave, guy who's like, and a steering wheel that doesn't fly off. I think it's a good idea, and I stand by it.
Well,
George, on podcasts, sometimes you start talking, you're like, fuck, I have no clue where I'm going with this. Just make this sound semi-smart. And then you end and no one says anything, and you're like, God damn it.
You're just trying to finish his sentence. By the end of it, you have offended an entire religion.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy.
So-
That's how I had to
So I'm glad we have George on the pod because he has been to Salt Lake City a number of times, correct?
Yeah, probably half a dozen times.
Have you like got to really interact with the Mormon culture while you're there? Have you noticed any like outlandish differences?
No, I mean, I think overall, my experience with the people of the Mormon LDS Church has been positive, but it's been mostly professional. But they are very like suburban, well put together, Christian valued people. But they, I would say compared to other religions that I've seen, they use their money very well. They have some of the prettiest, best properties in the country if you've ever seen Mormon churches. But yeah,
anything bad.
no, but there is just something like I do feel like to your point though, I feel like when you meet someone and you're on the West Coast and like like there's people from that church around, it's like you pick up on it pretty quick. It's almost like I don't know, it's an indescribable quality, but they have it.
Yeah, I also to Dennis's point, I don't know if I've ever said that before, but I always hear people use it. To Dennis's point, I do think there's just something unsettling. Like people are humans. Like humans have flaws. They have vices. Like they just can't help that. You're a human, and when you try to cover it up with religion, it just comes off as like, hey, buddy, I know you're doing this thing. You're putting God first, but like, let's not pretend like there's nothing else deep going inside.
Yeah.
There,
I think that's it. I think it's because it feels like they're not getting to the root of the problem. It's like religion just puts a Band-Aid on it, and it like at least from these documentaries I watch, that's what it just seems like. It's like holding back all these other issues. And George, I'm doing this.
Could you imagine if people judged us who knew nothing about Catholic culture and only saw Catholic documentaries and what's out there?
I think Catholics are very self-deprecating, though. I think we will be the first to admit that, like,
I mean, Catholic people have issues. Yeah.
But, like
That's what I'm saying.
The whole basis,
like, they're not looking at documentaries saying Catholics are great.
Yeah, well, that's true. They have their own problems. But,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's my point.
But I think
Mormons are good then.
The whole basis for Catholicism is like, hey, like Catholics, we know you're gonna fuck up. Like we all fuck up. That's what confession's for. Go to confession, get it out of your system. Just here, it's basically like church therapy. I
think the big difference is I feel like when you're Mormon, you can't really admit that you fucked up or have issues. Everything is perfect. Mm-hmm. When you're Catholic, I feel like the difference is like no one's acting like they're unholy. Like if anyone's really religious and Catholic, you're like, this is kind of weird. This seems off. Mm-hmm. Like most Catholic people are just like go to church, pray sometimes, but like they're not every day living like going to church type of religion.
We talked about it too, where like Judaism. I love
I don't like this topic. George doesn't like it. Let's move on.
I went to a Catholic school. They made us study world religion, so I'm educated enough to speak on it. You go to we talked about it like
can I hear those credentials one more time? I need to hear those credentials just one more time.
Because I was in this world religions class too. Let's hear it. The guy every morning for me would play Werewolves in London. He loved this song.
All right, let's go.
Oh, woo, Werewolves in It was like September and like he would play it. He just loved the song.
That was good.
I'm trying to figure out what my next topic is.
Let's hear one of those world famous transitions.
Okay, since we're being kind of offensive,
nice.
I have a stand-up joke I want to workshop on you guys that I wrote this morning in bed.
Wait, can I say something?
Sure.
You're wearing an OU bar shirt and wait, no, yours is Lakewood. God damn it!
Identical. George, is yours just the same thing on the back? Oh no, mine's exactly the same. So yours at least has some differentiation to it. Yeah, this is our look. Get used to it. Okay. So stand-up joke workshop. All right. So I was talking to a sleep doctor recently because I have a lot of sleep issues. I have trouble sleeping, sleep apnea. And I realized that like mattresses aren't all that good. And I'm like, should I actually be sleeping on the floor? Because it's better for your spine, better for like your vertebrae or whatever. And the guy's like, and this guy's a professional sleep doctor. He's like, actually, yeah, like it is better for you to sleep on the floor than a mattress. And when you think about it, he's kind of right. Because when you think about all the crazy homeless people that sleep on the streets, you never hear them complain about back pain. It's always the government, the devil, never lower back stiffness.
That's true. That's pretty good.
Or I have an alt version. It's always, I need food, I need a drink, never, I need a chiropractor. So that's my joke. You got a little chuckle out
I
of
like
you guys.
it.
Pretty good.
George, hockey fights. Back to culture.
I just went to my nephew's hockey game, and there was a all-out 5-on-5 brawl.
Give us some
The-
more
the refs
context.
lost
How
control.
old is your
Yeah,
nephew?
like what?
So it was at Miami University, and it was a 14 and under like travel tournament. They made it to the championship game. They were on the ice that Miami University hockey team plays on.
Ooh, so it's a little
It
bit.
was
It's a little bit elevated because they are on a real
Yeah. Oh,
stage.
it was a really professional event. I mean, they had college kids operating the scoreboard and the audio. So every time there was a stoppage in play, like through the big speakers, it was audio pumping. The kid who was DJing, I almost wanted to give him $5 for like a beer later. He was so good.
Oh, that's
Like I was telling
awesome.
Kim,
They had a real DJ there.
yeah, like Kim and I were like, we need to hire this guy for our wedding. Well, not DJ, just like some kid on an aux cord. Like every time the whistle put on a banger, like Jay Sean or
Oh, sick.
Oh, what a cool
yeah,
job.
it was awesome. So anyway, there's like it's the championship game. There's like it's the third period. It's almost over, and just this brawl breaks out between these 14-year-old kids. So like there's 5 individual fights happening like on the ice. Like 10
Was there
kids in
anything
total.
like leading up to it? Was there one kid that was like more aggressive than
It was
another?
a little
or-
chippy. Like it was, but it was like my sister even said like all the other games that weekend were much more chippy. But it was the end of the championship game. The one team was about to lose. This fight broke out. There was actually a girl on the ice because like it's under 14, so like girls are still like playing. It's hockey. But like these refs couldn't get it under control. It was like literally like a 2-minute fight of like just 14-year-olds, but like they're kind of like big kids at this point. So anyway,
Yeah.
And
when
some
they
are
finally
probably
get it under
much
control,
bigger than other kids too. That's the age where like
oh,
the
my
parity
nephew's
is
bigger
insane.
than me.
Like some, yeah,
Right? Yeah, yeah. Like
it's actually
my,
kind of
my nephew would
dangerous.
totally body.
Are they
Yeah,
taking
so
gloves off, helmet off
no, so they're punching with gloves on,
to
people
a
with
helmet?
helmets on. Yeah, so
Oh,
I mean, no one was probably like
best
Jeopardy
way
or
to
anything
fight.
like that. But the crazy part was there was 4 seconds left in the game, and they ended the game. They just like suspended the game. And I made the reference that it was like Bottlegate, but that fell flat. Nobody got the reference. I'm like, it's like Bottlegate. Like I thought it was such a good joke. But then like one of the parents went off on the referees, like, this is your fucking fault. Like you lost control of the game. Like you fucking suck. And then another parent decided to record that parent and was like,
I
nice
like
job,
that
buddy.
one.
And was flicking him off from behind the camera.
Oh, that's
And
a
then
little ballsy.
yeah,
Yeah.
did he start right with the flick off, or did he work his way to it?
so then the parent who was going nuts getting filmed started going nuts at the guy filming. I'm like, yeah, that's right, buddy. Fucking film me. And so the filmer's wife and daughter started getting hysterical. Like, oh, honey, stop. And then basically nothing happened. But the best part was like all the parents and all the fans got funneled out like to this area to wait for their kids to come out of the locker room because like they had to clean up the arena. And it was like a mixer. Like I totally thought like it was really going to go down, but all these fake tough guys, nothing ever happened. But I do think people need to stop filming people in public.
It does kind of escalate things a little bit. It's almost a little bit you're on your high horse. Like,
Well, I kind of get where that guy's coming from that filmed, because it's like, hey, if you can't do this on film, then why are you doing it?
that's the same
Sort
reason
of
they
thing.
put body cams on police officers. It's not like for footage. It's like to remind them, like, hey, you are a public servant. Like this is all like anything you do is going to be recorded.
Yeah, it's like, what? Hey, you're talking shit to this. If you really care that bad, you shouldn't care if you're filmed or not. If you want to treat someone that bad,
Yeah.
If it's a true reflection of your character.
I just feel like the filmer a lot of times isn't realizing that they're writing a check that their body might not be able to cash. Because if
Yeah,
you film
well, you don't
somebody,
film
better
and
be
flick
prepared.
off. It's you gotta be like,
Yeah, and
hello.
you also don't. Good one. You also don't film and think it's like a shield. So but the
Huh.
second you
What is, just looking at my phone.
What's this?
and it also isn't like that camera does not excuse you from the confrontation. Like that person now has every right to involve you in the fight. Like that is basically you throwing your fist up like you want a part of this.
Yeah. That guy, yeah, that guy's putting up like a flag. The guy that's filming and flicking off, he's like, I want to fight this guy.
Yeah.
How do I get? This is the fastest way I can get to fighting this guy without me starting it.
Okay, so I have
Well, his daughter was distraught. She was very upset about the whole thing. So I don't think he felt like a very big man at the end of the day.
No.
But George,
no.
once you added in the context that these kids are playing at a championship game on the big time college hockey rink, Miami's huge for hockey. I do understand why this happened. They're 14-year-old boys, hormones are going wild, adrenaline's pumping, and they feel like they are real adults that are, capable of handling a situation like this. I understand why it escalated.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all saw the USA Canada
Mm.
match like 2 weeks ago. They fought 3 times in the first 9 seconds. Like they do what the professionals do.
Do you think that had anything to do with these fights?
100%. It's like in kids
Okay.
chucking up threes from half court. They all want to be Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Like
did your nephew win then? Technically,
they did win.
So they won the championship.
The champions.
Wow,
Yeah, with
that's
an
awesome.
asterisk because of 4 seconds left. We'll never know.
Yeah.
Make sure you always mention that to him.
So, Dennis, as a parent, where are you excited for your kids to get into sports? Do you even see them partaking in sports?
Yeah, I do. I have no I'm not gonna push them to be number one in the sport. But I think I want them to be good. I want them to try. Like I don't care if they're good or not, as long as they're
Any
trying.
sports you want to push them or direct them towards?
I'm gonna probably start them in wrestling next winter because they're good at that. They're good at takedowns and because all they do is wrestle.
That would be good for burning some energy too.
Yeah, and then I don't know, basketball. No, golf. They take golf lessons.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I want to. Mainly for me to golf with them later in life would be fun.
Yeah, and you got to kind of get them
I feel
started.
like my
early.
dad loved to do that. Never really
What?
cooked, but my dad used to love taking me golfing. It's always frustrating event though.
New.
You're pretty good at golf.
Wait, new segment. It's called unsolicited parenting advice from a non-parent. What I would say, Dennis, my rule for you would be: don't force the sports on them. But if they show an interest in a sport and say, "Dad, I want to sign up for football or basketball or whatever," and you go to all the trouble to get them in the league, make them stick with it for at least the duration. Don't let them just be cop out and be like, "Oh, I didn't realize I'd have to work hard." No, you signed up for this, stick through it. You can always quit. You can always,
Yeah,
at least get through.
I've already done some of that. Done karate and swimming, and by after 3 months of it, they hate going to it, just because it ruins their normal routine. But I'm too cheap. They got to go to every single one so I get my money out of this.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'll make them stick with it.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for listening to my advice. Okay. Next topic. Since we're talking about hockey rinks and just cooling down, sounds like Dennis.
It's transitions, man.
They're so forced. Dennis, sounds like you've been experimenting with some new health and wellness.
Yeah, on accident. So my hot water heater went out. Is that what it's called? Yeah, hot water heater. I have one of the ones that is in a tankless. So it heats up the water as it turns on. It's unlimited hot water.
Why did you go tankless?
Because my hot water heater, when I moved in this house, broke after a year. And I'm like, I'm going to have kids. And I remember growing up getting so pissed when the hot water was gone because someone took a shower right before you. And so you can take a hot shower forever. Did I sell you on that?
Yeah, I don't recall that being such a huge issue because maybe a little bit. You had 5 people in your household all around the same period. For me, it was always max 4 people in our household. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I get where you're coming from, Dennis. 2 older sisters.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't happen to me all the time, but when it did, it was horrible. You could tell when you're in the shower and it's starting to get colder. That's the worst feeling because it's not coming back.
Mm-hmm. That is bad when it's just or when it's just not heating up. You're just you're sitting outside the shower, you're half naked, just checking every 30 seconds, and it's just not getting any hotter. That does suck.
Yeah. So that broke in our house, and so we didn't have any hot water for 48 hours.
Ooh, that's tough.
And so Lisa wanted to go. My parents are in Florida right now, so their house up here is empty, and she's like, "Let's just go to their house. We can all take baths and showers." And I said no, because I had an idea. I had 4 pots boiling. So we needed to give my kids a bath. 4 pots boiling on the stove. And I'm like, I just need to fill up my bathtub with cold water and then pour these 4 pots in. It'll be warm. So I carry these huge pots upstairs, pour them in, scalding hot water going up the stairs. Pour them in. I feel the water. It maybe moved 1 degree. I'm like, what the fuck? I put so much water in there, hot water. It didn't cool down. It didn't get warmer at all. So I had to make 6 trips of this. So it took an hour and a half to make the bath lukewarm. I put my first kid in. He's screaming because it's too cold. I'm like, you're already in. And so I just like got soap all over my hands, washed them really quick, and got him out within like 30 seconds. And then the second kid, the other thing too is as soon as I put my first kid in, he just immediately stands up and pees in the water. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I spent so long on this. And then I'm like, I'm not draining this, so you guys are getting fucking pee on your head when I'm cleaning you.
It's probably warm, right? It's probably out.
I'm like, I told Lisa, I'm like, it's sterile and it's so diluted, it's fine.
Man, I'm so
And
nervous about being a
Gallons
dad.
of boiling water, 6 ounces of peas not gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah. So then I washed him, and then I washed Freddie after that.
Water.
I didn't tell him about that, but I washed him after that within a minute, and then it was done. And I'm like, shit, should I get in here? Because I haven't showered. I didn't get in.
Okay.
I didn't get in.
You thought about
Okay.
it though?
I thought about it for a second, but I'm like, there's pee, and they wipe their own butts. That's not going
Can
well.
I stop you for a second? You're a grown man. You just couldn't take a cold shower?
I'm getting to
I know,
that,
but
Kevin.
your first thought was that, like, I'm going to try to avoid the cold shower. You couldn't have you weren't even.
I thought about it for a second.
Okay. Sorry.
But then he thought about how they're wiping their own butts.
Yeah.
And it's not going.
Yeah,
so
I
well.
thought of how disgusting the water was.
No, I'm saying you even thought about, like, I would rather go in the pee water versus taking a cold shower. Blows my
No,
mind.
I think it was mainly because I spent an hour and a half warming up the bathtub, and I'm like, and they were only in there for 2 minutes total, 2 kids.
That's fair. You put in the work. You might as well. Somebody might as well get use out of this.
He felt like he didn't get his money's worth.
Got it.
But
he needed more return on the investment.
Got it.
I drained it though, and then I told Lisa, I'm like, I'm gonna go in and take a cold shower, and it was the coldest water. I don't know how these people do ice baths. I went in there. I was in there maybe like 1 minute. My whole head went numb. It was so cold, and I got a brain freeze, which I never had one without eating something.
That's weird.
So,
I didn't know that could happen.
Yeah, it was horrible, and so I didn't get enough soap out of my hair, and so I had to
You
work.
Skip trying to wash your hair. You can't wash your hair in cold water.
I for whatever reason, I'm like, I'm doing my full shower, so I just took a shower an hour ago for the first time, but all today didn't shower. But yeah, it was brutal. It's fixed now.
What's your daily shower rate?
I shower every morning.
So one per day?
One per day, and then I wash my hair every other day.
I do twice per day normally because I work out at night, maybe 4 or 5 times a week. So
yeah, if I worked out, I would. I don't work out, so.
What about you, George? How many showers are you taking?
I would say close to 2 a day. Two most days.
Dennis, your story just reminds me of when I was in college. We had a weekend where our water went out, and we were living with like 8 guys at the time. I mean, just imagine how gross that was.
Oh God, the bathrooms.
Yeah, a college house where there's no water functioning for like close to like 60 hours. We were just peeing in the slop sink, and taking showers at the gym. I wish I could just go back and just like see and smell what that house looked like for a week.
The best days of your life, I bet.
Yeah, it was kind of exhilarating, especially like when you're partying and like peeing in the slop sink every 20 minutes.
That's what I told Lisa too. She was so like pissed about it, and she wanted to go to her parents' house or my parents' house. I'm like, this is fun.
Yeah,
this is fun doing something different.
You're never gonna forget that 48 hours.
No.
George, you're on record. I believe you taught me, or at least at some point in your life, you used to take hot showers, but always finish it cold.
I do finish showers cold.
I sometimes do that. It feels great to get out after just like, it's almost like a reset.
It feels like you're hydrating your skin. I feel like when I finish with hot water, my skin dries out.
And sometimes you get out and you're a little bit sweaty still or something. Like I like having like that cold cool down sometimes.
Have you guys ever, like, now I know what the feeling after a cold plunge is, after taking a really cold shower.
Yeah,
and
you're educated. You can speak on this.
You're an expert.
I'm a cold plunge guy. And
it's his culture.
I took a cold shower. One. So I felt like I was like someone was trying to attack me. Like I was what is it called?
Endorphins?
Yeah, I was just like ready to go.
You can't breathe.
You're in fight mode?
Yes. It almost feels like when you're sneaking out when you're in grade school and you almost got caught, and that feeling. Adrenaline. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I felt like. I'm like, this can't be good long term. Doing that every day.
Okay. We got a few more things to cover. I was just reading through the list.
You're on
I could
record.
tell Kevin was bored
No,
by
I'm not.
starting to look away,
No,
rub his
No,
eye.
I was looking at our topics, just trying to figure out what else I want to cover. I guess I'll just jump right into this one. I saw a movie over the weekend by myself, The Monkey. Have you guys heard of this one?
What are you, like Jay Leno?
Yeah, you guys heard of this?
What day did you go see this movie?
You guys heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I saw it Friday. Did I blow you off or something?
I invited you over, but I said it was no big deal. We were just watching Bravo.
Oh yeah, no. I was excited. I was excited.
Yeah, no. That's a no,
wait,
George.
Did you guys ever go see movies by yourself? It's fun. I love it.
Like one time in my life. It was awesome.
Yeah,
though.
it's just like a
Did you get yourself some Cadberries?
not cat. No, I'd actually well, no, I didn't get any candies. And no, it's just Megan was like on like a work trip for like 2 or 3 days before it, and I knew when she like got home, she like wasn't gonna want to really interact with me because like all of her social energy was burnt out. So I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go like leave her home alone. I'll go see a movie by myself. And I just love seeing movies by myself. It's such a great activity. But this movie, it's, do you know who Theo James is? He was
No.
in White Lotus season 2, kind of the hunky guy. No, nothing.
Oh, the guy that hooked up with he was trying to hook up with.
Yes, Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, so not her husband, the other husband, that couple that they were with.
George, can you look him up really quick?
I'm looking him up. Okay, I see him. He's handsome.
Yeah, so I realized that this guy, they're giving him the James Franco roles now, but he's just not James Franco, and it's really frustrating, and it made me wish that like I was talking about it recently, like I wish they could go back in time and uncancel some of these people in hindsight. Like I don't know exactly.
Is James Franco canceled?
Yes, he's been canceled for like 6 years now.
For what?
I don't remember. I think that's what I was kind of getting to though. Like there was such a large scale of like people who were canceled. Like there were people who were pedophiles, people who were rapists. And then at the same time, there were people on like the other end of the spectrum that were like, this guy was really rude to a girl on a date. And like, they have never recovered from it. And I don't remember exactly where James Franco falls on the,
Me too.
on the Me Too movement scale.
Here we go. Something we're not very well versed on. Let's talk about it.
But I'm coming up with a little segment in my head now that it's like, if we could all uncancel one person, who would it be?
I could see this where this was
George
going.
has already told me in private it's Epstein.
No, I was not. This was not a planned segment, but I'm genuinely curious because my answer is I wish they could uncancel James Franco. He was a treat to watch on stage and screen. George, anybody in your mind? Kevin Spacey, Weinstein. They canceled.
No, I'm fine with those guys being canceled.
Okay.
But keep rattling some off. You might come across
TJ
somebody.
Miller from Silicon Valley was canceled for being like hard to work with, or maybe who's
Oh, I have my guy. The dad from the Goldbergs. Also the attorney from the
Jeff
Curb Your
Garland.
Enthusiasm. Jeff Garland, yeah.
He was canceled?
Yeah, for being rude on set, like belittling and stuff. But the Goldbergs was such a great sitcom. I was sad to see that.
I've never seen any of it, but yeah, that just is so like that's one. I don't know how harsh he's had to deal with it, but like I do think some people like deserve like that would be a great reality show, like Me Too Rehab. Like who can make
Isn't
a comeback?
that just like Survivor's All Stars? Isn't that like all the canceled?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the guy I'm thinking of is he's an indie singer. Fuck, not Arcade Fire.
Pine Grove guy had some trouble.
Pine Grove,
Yeah.
yes, Pine Grove.
Yeah,
He was canceled, and I remember reading it. I'm like, it's like this guy.
I remember it too.
I don't know if I want to talk about.
I can
this.
speak on this. I'm an educated man. He was canceled for sleeping with his fans.
Yes.
And it's like that's why you become a rock star. Like that's the whole thing. But now, yeah, obviously there's some power mentality to that, or like power struggles with it. But like rock stars have fans. Fans want to sleep with the rock stars. It's just welcome to the world, you know.
Yes.
So
no,
are you bringing?
I don't know.
Guy's kind of made a comeback though, right? But it definitely halted their career. And
Yeah.
George, you said Chris Brown, right?
I'm not even touching these.
Okay, well then I do have something you can touch. Weird transition. You wanted to talk about new fame. What does that mean?
I'm famous.
How?
You're famous?
Are you guys seeing these numbers I'm pulling? I know that's why I'm invited back on the pod. I'm getting the
No.
clicks, baby. Whatever the eyes like, or whatever George brings, the eyes that are clicking like.
I don't know. Maybe we could do a quick
You
recap.
guys, I had like 3, 4, 5,000 views on some of those TikToks you posted. I was in. I'm just waiting for the casual collision out in public where someone's like, "Hey, it's you," and I'll be like, "Yeah, it is."
I did.
Yeah, no bold comments for whatever reason.
Oh, what
When you're
are
on
they
the screen,
saying?
Oh, what were they saying?
What are they saying?
I think they called you guys fat.
They called us fat.
Fair.
Because we were talking about Ariana Grande being too skinny. So if they're putting us in context next to Ariana Grande, then yeah, I'm a chunky boy.
Who are these people who come to the defense of these A-list celebrities online? Like, what do they expect to happen? That like Ariana's gonna see it and be like, oh, "I'm gonna fly you out to meet me and spend this great weekend together."
I think that's exactly what it is. I just
Yeah, it's a weird culture of people that comment and think that their opinion matters so much that they need to tell a random person and it's going to change. That person's going to be like, "Whoa, this guy's smart. I'm going to listen to him."
it is funny too, because like sometimes we'll post a clip and we'll get like 800 views on it. 800 views, 10 likes, and then you'll just get this comment that's just like with this harshest opinion, like, you guys are idiots. First of all, like, you're the one that's like commenting on a video with 800 views and 10 likes. Like, only validating us more, pretending like we're actually people worth listening to.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of mentally ill people out there.
Yeah, I
'Cause
think there is.
If you don't like our content, you're fucking mental. I just don't get it.
All right. Dennis, I'm coming to Cleveland this weekend.
Yeah, we're golfing
I know. Are you excited?
Friday. I am. It's gonna be my first time out this year.
How's the weather looking?
I think it's gonna be 57. So I'm actually in a golf tournament next week
Ooh.
for 3 days in Florida, visiting my parents. It's like a member guest, so it's a like official one. So this is my warm up for it.
How do you get your clubs out there?
I'm just gonna bring them on the airplane.
Oh, you just check them?
Yeah, try to fit them in a book bag underneath my seat.
Flying frontier.
Save on that cash. Yeah, see if I can shove it under there. Bend the clubs and then unbend them.
I am in the hotel room.
Yeah.
All right, I think we should end the pod there. I like that ending snippet.
Did I talk about millennial trends?
No, yeah, let's.
Oh yeah, I did want to hear.
So on TikTok, there's this new thing where there's this guy that does like parody songs of different cultures and sometimes different ages. So he did one like of Swedish like DJ pop in the 90s that went very viral. Kevin, you probably know who this guy is. I just can't think of his name.
Oh shit!
He did like an Irish song, but he did like a millennial song, and it's basically it sounds like "Hey" by the Lumineers. So like that stomp, like I've been trying to treat you right. Oh, I've been trying to do the night. Hey, that like that type of thing.
We're backwards on our hey hoes. I don't know who's right, but yeah.
So he made a song like that, and that song's been going viral on TikTok where people are taking that song and finding very millennial things. So their examples are like a burger shop where everything's industrial. You have like the Edison bulbs and like everything's metal, and you're paying $15 for a really thick, shitty burger, basically. That was big, I feel like 10 years ago. And then the other things were like millennial gray, they call it, where everything in your house is gray. So gray gray paint, gray cabinets, gray countertops. The other thing they mentioned is tattoos, black and white. Not much depth to them, or if they do depth, it's like black and white, and then in the middle is like really rainbowy, like the square going into another dimension type thing.
So which of these are you like encompassing you? Do any of these you find you relate to?
Maybe the tattoo one, because my tattoo is like that. It's just like a stencil. And then I'm trying to think. The millennial gray, maybe, because a lot of our walls in our house are white. So that's kind of close to that. And then I think one was like anxiety.
George, do you have any millennial things about you?
I don't think so, but I was going to say, I heard the other day that babies born this year, do you know what generation they are?
Gen Alpha?
No, Gen Alpha just ended. So
Gen Beta.
Gen Beta.
Oh, no.
and they're talking about maybe changing it. But I think, the beta boys here should welcome these beta babies to the world, because that's just too unfortunate that They're Gen Beta.
Hey.
Hopefully they live up to it.
I have a call to action for Gen Beta because I think what defines my generation the most as a bald man is the bald with beard, shaved head look. I cannot stand seeing other bald guys with beards. It's just Gen Alpha, Gen whatever comes after us. Like I know that I know that there's going to be bald people in that generation, or if they don't figure this all out. But please grow out the side of your hair like Larry David. Do something different than us. We all look the same, and it is so frustrating.
Have you ever thought about doing that?
I try it, and I think the longest I've gone is a week and a half, and it just makes me look so old. I can't get past that stage.
Yeah.
It need to be a bet.
I feel like you need to be like a complete hipster to be able to pull that off.
Yeah,
and live that lifestyle.
So cool, or yeah, either like that or just like famous where you're like Bon Iver and you have the street cred to back it up, and it just
or like Walter Goggins, like that guy's hair. I always look at him like his hair looks kind of cool, and then I'm like, no, if I saw that guy at a gas station like outside, I'd be like, this guy, and if he was that skinny, I'd be like, okay, this guy's on drugs. And his hair is crazy.
Guy. You love Goggins.
I love Goggins.
I do, yeah.
You guys are Gaga for Goggins.
Gaga for Goggins.
We are. Have you been watching it, George?
No.
Why?
I don't know.
Watch.
You would love the
I guess
White
he's
Lotus.
in 2 show. Yeah.
He's
in 2 shows right now.
I've been Gaga for Goggins ever since he was in Hateful Eight. That was one of the greatest performances I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, he's like he's one of those actors where everything he's in, he's interesting.
You guys think he has the Midas touch right now?
George, have you seen any White Lotus?
No, but is Goggins A-list?
He's in the latest one, but that's a really good you would like that show a lot.
I think Goggins is A-list. Yes.
No way.
Yes, he is. It's a different kind of A-list because he's not movie star. I don't think they're gonna, put him in a.
My judge for A-list is like 2 out of 3 of our dads would know who it is.
Oh, that's a good point.
My dad would know. He loved him in Vice Principals. That was like my dad's favorite show.
Does he know his name though?
No. If I said no, I could say Kevin Stu and George Milfoy, you'd be like, huh? You're like, yeah, you've talked to him a million times.